about real estate. Just talk about them. Ask them how they're doing. But you have to do your homework. You have to know. You have to be watching them on Facebook. What just happened? Who just got an award for soccer in their family? Who's going away to school? Where did they just vacation? Like, it's all about being connected to people. If you're not doing enough business, then that tells me that you don't have enough people that you're connected with, that you're touching, that you're face-to-face with. There's no other formula than not enough people. I can tell you that. So if things aren't happening, when we do the business planning class, everybody says, I want to make $50,000. And I say $50,000 is 15 to 17 people closed a year. You need to find 15 to 17 people a year. It doesn't sound like a lot, but if you're not touching and feeling hundreds of people, not feeling, did I say feeling? Rewind that. If you're not, did I say touching? Well, I meant shaking hands, reaching out, connecting, better words, thank you, Brenda. Connecting with hundreds of people throughout the year. You know, it's like that thing, throwing up against the wall, and some is going to stick. That is what this is all about, okay? There's no secret other than that. You have to connect with more people, because you're going to connect with people and you're going to try, and then all of a sudden you're going to find out that they can't afford it, right? Okay, there will be those people. You're going to list a house and something's going to happen and they decide not to move and the listing expires and it's done, right? It will happen. Not 100% of every transaction is going to make it to the table and into your pocketbook. You don't have pocketbooks, into your wallet. Let's say it that way. Okay, so meeting new people, time management, creativity. Are you ambitious? Time management is what? Self-management. When I hear people don't have enough time, that means they're not managing themselves properly. And I'm going to be doing a class in September on time and self-management. Okay, that's going to be one of the fall classes. Because it's really, you do need a little bit of a system to get through your day. And I just took this class online. I thought it was very good, so I'm going to take it and make it be for us here. And we'll do time management, probably throw something else in there, because you can't really talk about time management for 3 hours, because it is self-management, self-evaluation, a lot like this is. Problem solving, negotiating, physically fit, good at multitasking, all of these things, okay? It's an evaluation that I want you to do this morning and look at who are you. Make yourself aware of where you are going forward from this point. Because there are areas when you look at this that you say, I didn't realize that that's not a strength of mine. And what can I do to make it be a strength? So let's go down to the second section, which are weaknesses. All right. Now the first one, time management. Not enough time. Time is all about balance. Time is about being aware. It's a system. Linda's going to speak to balance today, so I'm not going to talk about it too much. But how many of you had more weaknesses than strengths? Good. No, that's good. The one weakness I forgot to put up here that I see with agents is, does anybody know what's missing? Did you go through and say, I know what I am, and it's not here. Laziness. Okay? Laziness, I didn't put on there because I forgot. Because I'm not lazy, so I don't think about it. So, some of us can have lazy days. Okay, there are some days where you just have to not do anything, right? I don't know what that's like, but there are some days where you just can't do anything. Okay, you're so overwhelmed, it gets to the top, and you just need to chill and relax. That's okay. That's like regrouping, refocusing. That's not laziness. Laziness is you should be doing something, and you choose to do something else instead. Okay? Which may mean laying on the couch, or watching a video, or playing on Facebook, way too long. So it's knowing you should be doing something else, and then you do something that's more fun, that's more comfortable, okay, because we don't want to do the things that are not comfortable because they're not comfortable, okay? So success is going to be beyond your comfort zone. And if there's one thing, another thing about Linda that I know is that she will take that risk. She will take that chance and she'll be like, oh, that didn't work, okay? It's how you handle that. So is the reason you're uncomfortable because you have a fear of failure? Because you have a fear of rejection? If it is, it's okay to evaluate that that's what the problem is, okay? We said you can't change anything until you're aware. So if you're aware that you have that fear, now what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do to overcome the fear? And what is the answer there? What am I going to say? Feel the fear and do it anyway. It's a great book. Buy it. Feel the fear and do it anyway. My mom will be 76 years old on Sunday. She was one of the first realtors in the industry, female realtors. As a matter of fact, in 1972, so Ron said in 73 you couldn't get a credit card, she got her real estate license, and within 6 months she was told to leave her first office because it was all male, and the men went to the broker and they were threatened by her, and they made him fire her. So she was fired, and she went around the corner and she worked for a woman-owned business and became the top salesperson there. I'll show them. One thing, my mom's motto has always been, quitting is not an option. I was raised that way. Quitting is not an option. Single parent, 3 children she had, okay? No money. Running back down the grocery store aisle and putting the food away because I couldn't get the Captain Crunch with Crunch Berries because we didn't have enough money on the calculator, okay? But quitting was never an option for her. So she was a female who came into this business in a time when it was not a time to be females in the real estate business. But she pushed forward, and she didn't have that fear, ever, because she knew what she wanted. She wanted something better. So when you're trying to figure out in your life and today on what it is you want, what I recommend that you do is picture it. Picture the life you want to have. What does it look like? The car you want to drive, the house you want to live in. Do you want a house in the mountains? Do you want a house in Florida? Do you want a house in the Poconos? What does that life look like? And what does the life look like that you don't want? Okay? What does that life look like? Because sometimes you can't figure out what you want until you know what you don't want. And what you don't want is easy because it may be where you are right now. It may be someone that you see in your life, okay, that you don't want to be like that person. You don't want to be 70 years old and not have any money and not have any house and live in an apartment. Like, what do you want your life to look like? And there is no better business than this business to make that happen. The difference is what you do with your time every single day. What choice you make every single moment. You can choose to lay on the couch, or you can choose to pick up the phone. I don't even care if you're in your pajamas and you pick up the phone, but you have to connect with more people. And whatever it is that's keeping you from doing it, be aware that it's a roadblock, and when it comes up, when you're afraid, when you have that fear, when you're worried, when you're frustrated, just say, nope, deep breath. I know I want the house on the beach, and that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to call them anyway, and I'm going to get out of bed anyway, because I want this. Does this make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay? That's why my mom has a house on the beach today. Because we would walk to the beach. We had a house way back, like in Ocean City, like way back on the other side. And we would walk to the beach with my kids. And we would look up at the houses and she would say, I wonder who lives in that house. I wonder what they do. I want one of them one day. I'm gonna get there. And now she has it. So now we sit on the deck and we look at the ocean and we look at everybody else walking by and I'm like, I want to say, you can have it too. I don't sit there and say, oh, look what we have. I say, you can have it too, because you can. It all depends on what you're going to do with your life every single day starting today. So turn those weaknesses that you have into strengths. And now I want you to take that area there of weaknesses and look at them and star 3 of them. The 3 that you think most are inhibiting you from getting what you want, moving forward. Star 3 of them, and then flip your paper over, and again, I'm not collecting this. Flip your paper over, and on the other side of the paper, write them down, where it says, choose 3 weaknesses I will focus on to turn them into strengths. And then after you do that, question number 4, who will help me turn my weaknesses into strengths? Because you know what? Sometimes you can't do it alone. As a matter of fact, most times you can't do this alone. You need a buddy, you need a support person, you might need a clergyman, you might need, some things go really deep. Some things go really, really deep. Sometimes there's this thing called self-sabotaging. Ever heard of that phrase? Okay? Where you are your own worst enemy and you prevent things from happening. Why? Because you're angry with yourself, you're angry with someone else. And sometimes that takes some work, some deep work, like forgiving yourself. Okay, forgive myself and move forward. I need to forgive that person and move forward. Okay, maybe you weren't raised the way you wanted to be raised or whatever. Forgive that person and move forward. The big thing right now is life coaching. It's all on Oprah and everywhere. Sometimes it's all about working with yourself inside to be able to move past whatever it is that voice is saying in your head. Because some of us are our own worst enemy. Okay, be aware when the thought comes up. Say, where did that come from? Why am I feeling that way? Why don't I want to call that person? Okay? Feel it, acknowledge it, and let it go. Okay? And this person or people who you're going to choose to help you need to be seen on a regular basis. Meaning you need to set up something, some kind of a buddy phone call or something, supporting one another. Every trainer will tell you, get a buddy. Get a buddy who's going to pick you up, who's going to push you along, you're going to do things with. Don't depend on that person, though. It's got to be you. You can't do it as if you can't do it without them, okay? But it's a person, so if you're going to be that person, codependency and all that other stuff that goes along with it, you can't be the person who's always there, and they say, oh, now they're gone. We moved away, and now I can't. It can't be that way. It's just someone who very quickly say, hey, what's happening? What are you doing? How do you feel? Boom, great. So that person can be your broker, okay? You should be meeting with your broker in coaching one-on-one appointments, okay? If it's not your broker, then find an agent in the office, a successful agent in the office who you can meet with. Take them to lunch. Just pick their brain. Ask them if they can just check in with you every now and then, okay? But again, you have to make that effort. So number 5 is the most important. When am I going to meet them? How often am I going to meet them? Make this commitment to yourself to turn your strengths into weaknesses. Your weaknesses into strengths. Turn your weaknesses into strengths. But also, it's not just for that, it's to help you use your strengths, okay, to move forward. So that's the psychology of it all. We're going to get one more little thing. Number 6. Have you ever heard the philosophy of be, do, have? Okay? Be, do, have. So when I say the life that you want, it all goes along with the law of attraction and affirmations. So what does that life look like? Be, meaning picture yourself there. Act as if you have it. If you're going to the beach and it's a beach house, when you walk you say, I have a house like that in 15 years. I do. I picture myself on that porch. I am there. Okay? Put yourself there. Do the things you need to do to get there. And act as if you already have it. And it will come. How many of you have read Law of Attraction? The Secret? There's like 50 million of those books. But just look up the philosophy of be, do, have. It's putting yourself in that moment, allowing it to come and, what's the word? Be attracted to you in the things that you say. If you say, I'll never have that. I'll never be able to get that. I don't have that anywhere in my future. If that's what you're saying, then that's what you're going to create. Okay? It's all in what you're saying. It's about rising up above that. My mom would also tell you that when she was little, she wanted to go to college. And she wanted to have dance lessons. And my grandmother was, God bless her, one of the most negative mothers you could ever have. And she would say to her, that's not for our kind of people. Our kind of people don't go to college. We don't go to dance class. We don't. Her whole life. So when you say someone who could have everything against them, and then what makes them turn and go this way, it's a choice of wanting something more. So of course, we went to college, and we had dance lessons, all that, because she wanted her children to have something different. But it was her choice. And it's your choice to get what you want and to move forward with your career. Okay? Nobody else's. There's no one else to blame but the person who is your boss, who looks at you in the mirror every day, right? That's why you're in this business, because you want to be your own boss. So, that light will go off and on. It's a sensor. If you want to raise your hand, Anna Maria, it will go back on. It's kind of freaky because you think there's something going on here, right? All right, so, questions. Questions. Before we go to Linda, I want to talk about, like, what are the things that stop you? What would you like to talk about to get some ideas? Oh, I know what I want to do. I want to ask, okay, the possibilities, because you're here, a lot of you are new, but some of you have been around a long time. So I just want to show you what the real world is like before we get to the other real world with Linda. Where did your last buyer come from? Those of you who had a buyer, tell me where your last buyer came from. Anybody, shout it out.
Lead router. Facebook.
Sorry, Cole.
Referral. Friend.
Referral from who?
Somebody gave him a name.
Just a person or a friend or a family? I just want to get a little bit
I don't know
specific.
who gave the name. Somebody gave this lady a
A
name.
stranger, somebody,
Yeah.
somebody. Okay. Referral from anyone, and she called me. And then someone just said referral from who? Friend?
Friend.
Where else?
Family.
Family. Where else? Anywhere else? You get a buyer? Think your last seller. Tell me where your last seller came from.
Facebook.
Sorry, Cole.
Family. Friend. Client. Husband's co-worker.
Family referral.
Referral from a past agent, an agent who's no longer in business.
Okay. Except for this one, which is the same as this one. 25 years ago, it's my 26th year, same answers. Bad market, same answers. Good market, same answers. It's not a secret. It's not a secret. That's what I gotta tell you. Past clients, you say, well, I don't have any past clients. Because I don't have any clients, because I'm new. Okay, then cross that one off. Then do this one. Can't get any sign calls because I don't have any listings. Okay? Do floor calls. Go to open houses. Sit in an open house for somebody else. You can, I don't have any family. You say, I don't have any family. Okay, that just means that you have to go find more people somewhere else. So you're going to love when Linda talks about opportunities that you never would have thought of to get business, right? Because some people say, I'm new to the area, I don't know the area, I don't have any family, I don't have any friends, I don't know where to go. Okay? There are places to go. Again, 17 people, $50,000. How many of you want $50,000 in your pocket in the next 12 months? Okay? Then you have to find people to do business with or people who will refer business to you. How does that all come back? So now let's go back to the strength page. And there's a very, very important one. 2. At the bottom of my strengths. Positive attitude and optimistic. I'm not going to ask how many of you circled them. I hope you all did, but if you didn't, if that's not a strength of yours, the first step is being aware that it's not a strength, and the second step is realizing that it needs to be a strength. Okay? For you to be successful in this business, you got to not only pump up everybody else, you have to pump up yourself every day. Okay? And if you don't believe that you can do it, and Linda's going to touch on attitude, then again, it's not going to happen. So there are daily affirmations, things that you should be saying every day. It's one thing to say them, it's another thing to be them. It's another thing to do them. It's another thing to internalize them. So sometimes my affirmation is just every day. I think something starts to worry me because I had cancer a couple years ago, so I was like, sometimes I get worried and I'm like, I'm happy, I'm healthy, I'm safe. Only good will come from this day. That's my affirmation. I'm happy, I'm healthy, I'm safe, only good will come from this day. And I give it away. And that's it. And the worry just, that's how fast you change your thoughts. That's how fast you change the way that you're looking at the day. That's how fast you turn away from worry to not worry. Okay? The affirmation for you would be, I am attracting new clients and new opportunities. I am closing more business. You may not be closing more business today, but when you set yourself in that zone, it's be, do, have. Okay? I'm attracting new clients every day. But if you just sit and say it, it's not going to happen. Tony Robbins, how many of you listen to Tony Robbins? I mean, he says there's one thing, you can have a positive attitude, you can be out looking at your garden and you say, those weeds are going to die. Those weeds are going to die. I believe those weeds are going to die. No. It has to be realistic. Okay? It has to be realistic. You got to pull weeds. Okay? Or spray them or something. So, questions. Tell me where you would like to maybe get the ideas. There's a lot of experience in this room before we get to Linda. A lot of experience here. Tell me where you might struggle, that you need some guidance maybe from anyone. And Linda's also here to give guidance too. And Kimberly.
Explaining contract.
Explaining contract.
I'm horrible at it. I stutter. I I get overwhelmed. I've read them over and over, like your mom, as coach, Sue DeChambeau, as coach.
Mhm.
Read it.
Mhm.
And when it gets down to sitting down with the buyer, I'm like,
Okay.
I can't get it out.
Okay. Anybody
I
else?
read it word for word now.
Anybody else ever struggle with that same thing, maybe as a newer agent, and how to overcome it? Anybody? Want to share? That's not true. Linda?
When I first came, what I did, communication isn't always come easy to me as much as you guys know I like to talk. But what I did, I took each paragraph and wrote out something simple to describe what the important parts of the paragraph. And I worked on it with my husband and friends and just I kept practicing, going over with colleagues, with friends, with my husband until it rolled off my tongue better. And I simplify the paragraphs. I just put
You
most
have-
important you have.
sure,
It's just
of
like one or two sentences about each paragraph. That's the most important.
And that's what the consumer guide, do you use the consumer guide, Kim?
I've read it.
The consumer guide to the agreement of sale is, if you haven't had that, you can download it off of the Pennsylvania Association of Realtors website. That is talking to a buyer in plain language. So maybe you can have that with you and show them, like have it say, now we're gonna do this paragraph. This is the real contract, but we're gonna read what this is over here. You'll be able to summarize it. But I have a feeling it's up here. It's you're thinking you're gonna mess up, you're gonna say the wrong thing, it's making you look.
That's
making you stutter.
my fear of failure.
It always goes back to what is making you not feel comfortable with it. So you have to get
And my
beyond
anxiety.
and anxiety. Did I have anxiety?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's her.
Yeah.
Linda.
But I was to say also, sometimes when you explain there's that fear, they're gonna ask a question that I'm not gonna know how to answer.
And how do you handle that?
As I was always told, even when I knew absolutely nothing was going on in the world, is, I'm not sure, let me write that down and get back to you with that. But
That's
just
it.
to say, we'll make a list of questions, we'll go through the contract, and I'll get those answers for you, and we'll go through them.
Get back to you. And then you say, excuse me 1 second, and you have to go, and then you go in the back and you call your buddy, or you call your broker and you say, I forgot how to explain the maintenance and risk of loss paragraph in the agreement of sale. Just do it again, tell me real quick, hurry up. Okay? Always know that you have someone to go to. Sometimes that helps with anxiety, it helps with your fear. You're never ever in this alone. That's the thing. You don't work at RE/MAX. Okay, you work at Century 21 Alliance. And we always have people available to help you. Many of you in this room have messaged me on Facebook, which is the easiest way to get me. Because that comes right to my phone and I look at it rather than, there's more fun there than there's email. But, many people have asked me a question. They say, can you tell me that? You always have someone that you can reach in this company. So that should help you with your anxiety, that should help you with your fear. Someone will always be there to help you. What else? Anyone else look at something and say, I really don't know how I'm going to turn that weakness into a strength? Something that you may have chosen. How about meeting new people? That's easy. Okay. What else? Anything else that you're seeing on here? How about the last two? Go ahead,
I
Karen.
added one.
You added one?
Yeah, memory.
Memory.
I remembering people's names after you meet them, so when
Uh-huh.
you run into them 2 months later.
Mhm.
So I've got to work down some sort of system that I can.
There are systems, you may want to Google that, and on YouTube, there are trainers who actually train how to set up a system, and I'm just as bad as you are at that, because I met some of you for the first time and I can't remember your names, because I can't do that. But what you're supposed to do is to picture something about them
Right.
and equate it with somebody else, okay? Until you can get them, like Karen, you look like another Karen that I know, so I always know you're Karen.
And use their name.
Right, like in
Yeah.
your head, like it's learned by association. Some people are just good at that, and other
I'm not
people,
one of them.
we have an agent, Natalie, who she would sell 40 to 50 houses a year, And she would come, she goes, I just met another person at the grocery store and I know I sold my house and I couldn't remember their name. Like they were her clients.
Yeah.
And she would never, ever be able to remember their name. And she always had a system with her husband that he would always say, hi, I'm Michael, and you are? Because that would be their
Right.
you.
Right.
You know, he would
That's
always do
nice.
that for her. Yeah, because they're, I'm Michael, and she goes, oh, yes, that's right, it's Sandy. You know what I mean? So try and work out a system like that. Anything else? All right, you're all excited to have Linda come up. Anna Marie.
I think another, going back to, not knowing how to explain, another good aspect is to maybe shadow somebody.
Absolutely.
And you can pick up things that they're saying that will stick in your mind, that will help you to understand, it will help you to make your clients understand.
Absolutely, but that's a great suggestion for those of you who are newer or you just need to get back on track. Ask one of the top agents to go with them. Can I go with you the next time you run out with a buyer? Can I see how you show a house? There's a system to showing a house. There's a way that you attempt to close in every house. In every house you show, you should be asking the question, so, is this the one? Can you picture yourself living here? Okay, before you go out to show houses, don't forget to bring your checkbook. You need to be closing in every single house. Some of us, you're sending the MLS sheet, you send the MLS sheet, you send the MLS sheet, you never meet the people face to face. Then some of you just show houses and show houses and show houses, and you're not closing. Okay? That's the other part. You get the people, but then you have to close. Linda's going to touch on that too. Write down. I want to be sure that you do because you're an excellent closer. Okay? Always closing. Always closing. Yes, Ron.
One thing I was doing was sending pictures. Then I forget to ask them if they get pre-approved. I've learned that real fast.
Pre-approval. Pre-approval. Write that down, and I want to talk about pre-approval with our best mortgage company ever. All right, before Linda comes up, actually, Linda, if you want to come up here at the table, I'd like all of you to just say your name, your office location, and how long you've been in the business. Just so we can see, we have a huge variety here of people. So, John. Yes, John, real loud, so they can all hear you in the back.
John Gallagher, Ridley Folsom office, and 30 years.
3 years?
Wayne Fenstermacher, Warriorsford, St. Fitworth.
I'm on Civic Royersford, a little over a year.
Brett Shepherd from Audubon, I've been 10 years.
Kimberly Latanzi from Audubon, 4 years.
Peggy Castle, Century 21 Alliance, Bluebell, 7 years.
Angel, Lafayette Hill, since January.
Great, Karen?
Oh, Karen Rostmeyer, Manioc, and just this year.
Hi, Chris Belmont, brand new, still waiting for my license. Lafayette.
Gina Salmon, Drexel Hill, just started training this week.
Congratulations.
Melissa Walter, Bluebell, October.
Janice Montecchio, Folsom Ridley office, and just got my license.
Gwen to 50, Audubon office, 10 years.
Angela Kane, Aspen office, 5 years. Lisa Coro, Aspen office, 10 years.
Anna Maria Giacomo, Lafayette Hill office, 27 years.
Evelyn Ferrara, with the relocation department, I've been in this business for 27 years.
You beat me, you beat me.
Marcia Hicks, Newtown, 26 years.
Peterelli of Folsom. I just got my license on
Congratulations. And John, could you introduce yourself, please?
I'm John Shadell, and I work here out of the Bluebell office, and I've been here since May.
And what do you do?
I am the director of digital experience.
He works for all of us at Century 21 Alliance, so that's why we're going to get more tech wizardry.